Hello, and welcome back to another episode of NorthKaKChat. I'm your host, Craig Tone, and these are my co-hosts, Curtis McKoy and Kenny McKoy. This week, we're going to review a topic that centers around the development of kids today and how life experiences are necessary for growth. Oftentimes, we look back on our lives and wonder why we put ourselves through the trouble. And then we wonder how to communicate those shortcomings to the next in line. So, let's sit back, relax, and have ourselves a little North Khaki chat as we dance on the ceiling, baby.
Woo!
Dancing on the ceiling. Oh, what a feeling.
All right, so today we're going to start plucking at the strings. For me, when I was a kid, I used to always think about starting my own lemonade stand. You know, from seeing those old school Dennis and the Menace books in the library and thinking that sounds like a good way to pay for some of those old school Transformers toys that when you took them apart, you couldn't put them back together. And those the sweet Power Ranger toys that all came as one and you could connect them together, those Megazords.
That is true.
You know, it's a shame that my son and my little girls won't have that same luxury. You know,
Yeah.
You think they won't?
no, they won't. It's basically impossible unless I'm involved. Yeah. What about you, Curtis? What's your topic for today?
I'm still on this our homework for the HEX 293.
Mm.
You ain't gonna get that one up, huh?
Well, I just want to go more into depth in what it's for and why we're using it and what it is and why more people don't know about this topic. Um, and if they did, if more people knew about this topic, I guarantee you, um, they probably wouldn't be putting it in so many different foods, you know. And why? I mean, why put a
Right.
human gene inside something that a human got to for human consumption? You know,
Now, when you say
It's
food,
because you need it. Humans need it. Well, Kenny, what are you going to talk about today? What's your topic?
I'm going to talk about something that's been brought to my attention as far as like PTSD and pets
Mhm.
and how pets help with post traumatic stress disorder. Um, yeah, then I'm going to venture off into the entertainment side as far as like new shows coming to Hulu. Um, some shows some people have never heard of, some people's never watched, but yeah, I think they should give it a gander.
Right, right. But to start off the excitement, we should probably talk about this man eater over here. Curtis
Oh,
looks like he's hungry. Start talking
yeah.
about it.
hey man, just the understanding of what Hex 293 is a human cell gene from embryo. So yeah, I just this is what is this stuff for? Why? Why would we have this in our food? Um, and what benefits is it to human beings at this point? Um, I just don't think we need to be venturing out in uh, microbiology and testing it amongst ourselves. You know, this is you want to talk about how monsters are created, um, and this wouldn't be a good idea even by incest. Most times when you got incest inside the family, they amongst each other, the child usually comes out deformed.
Right.
Um, so why would you? Um, and this is all for biosafety too. Why would you um, even attempt to even put that inside food that we eating. Um, and this is way down to the biomedical level. That needs to be. People need to take a look at what's going on and why. And at this point, I just feel like it's necessary to talk about this because I feel like we losing control over not only what laws that's going on for us, but what we can actually do and put in our body.
I got a question for you. What foods, and is this something that has been going on and the public doesn't know about it?
I think that this been going on and it's been kept hush hush. So as long as you don't alert the rabbit won't run. It's real sad that we actually would even attempt, or someone would ask, hey, why we don't put this in there? This will help with something.
Yeah.
They probably didn't ask.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the normal way.
Yeah. I mean, at some point we got to take a stand and say, this is we can't do this, man. We getting close to people really trying to create and make and regene the human gene pool, which is dangerous. It's dangerous when you get people who are already out of control in touch with so much power. Like, this stuff is in everything, man. It's in Sobe. It's in Gatorade. It's in Aquafina water. Amp energy drinks. Seattle's best coffee. Ocean spray. No Fear beverages. Mug, root beer. Mountain Dew. Sierra. Everything that's bad for you. Yeah. It's in bubble gum. Dentine. It's in apple sour gum. Strident, Dentine, all that. Sour cherry blast. It's in Swedish fish. All them candies like that.
What?
Sour chilies.
Yeah, but you know what I heard though, right? It kind of boosts the flavors. So like you got all this stuff in there. You don't want to use like a bunch of sugar per se. Throw it in there. It makes it taste sweeter.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We need that.
Well, I mean, is it worse than Splenda?
There you go. Good example.
Byproduct of rat poison.
Don't educate them yet, Craig.
I'm just. If you look at your food and you start going through the labels, there's a whole bunch of stuff that you might not want to know is in those foods.
Tell them the truth. And I just wrote down everything Curtis just said. That I'm not gonna eat no more.
And you know this. You know they say that that eating young people or whatever it will rejuvenate you if you're old. Ain't that what they say in those movies?
Yeah, well, let's start putting it together. Let's just take a walk around the block right quick. Okay, we got a problem with diabetes in this country, right? It's a sweetener inhibitor, right? Right now, sugar ain't good for you. That's what feed cancer. They tell you when you do have cancer, you got to stop eating sugar because that's what feed cancer. So it's all still bad for you. Everybody should stop eating this stuff. Why? Why is it in there? I mean, it ain't that much flavor that they looking for. Good gracious, man. Leave it alone. Let it be natural.
But the people get addicted, right? It's like things that you don't even think about you're addicted to. I believe the sugar is the most powerful drug in the world.
Yeah.
Everybody drink it. It's in everything.
Yeah.
And if somebody takes it out of stuff, you'll notice.
Yeah.
Trying to trying to give up sugar. Like I've watched people give up sugar, and they had the whole withdrawal syndrome stuff when they started giving up sugar. So a lot of this stuff, like once you get in your system, it starts to become something you need. Things that replace things that you don't have. I mean,
You become
I for one
addicted to
can maybe go without sugar in some things, but some things I need some sugar in there, man. I ain't going cold turkey.
Yeah.
I don't know. Would you say it is better than doing crack?
Yeah,
everything's better than crack. Yeah.
I forgot
what is the original Coca-Cola recipe.
Yeah.
A little bit of cocaine in there.
Cocaine? Yeah. Did you say cocaine? That's why people so jacked up.
So when we look back at it and we look through all the stuff that's been qualified and then like discontinued since we were kids, we had a lot of bad stuff in our food.
Yeah.
It's them companies making products and then trying to get rid of the waste from those products into something that they can sell. We're a slave to capitalism. So if somebody finds something that's like, hey, this is actually more potent than sugar, let's go ahead and put this in our ingredient, and then you become the test subject, and you won't find out until later that it was bad for you. That's like all that stuff they used to tell us about health and everything. It doesn't apply now.
Right.
I don't even see no food pyramids out there anymore.
Yeah, all that stuff's gone. I mean, it all boils down to keeping food interesting and keeping food preserved. And like you said, I didn't know it was a flavor booster for the majority of foods. How do they extract this? I mean, is it coming from? I know they're not taking a grinder and just hitting. Give me another one. I know that's not happening.
No, man.
How are they?
From human gene, from like, how they was gonna extract the stuff from Superman when he fell off the horse.
Yeah.
It's kind of like they doing the gene work. They taking the embryo, and then they extract all of the DNA and all of the oh goodness, I forgot the word for it.
I'm sorry.
All of the umami.
Hey man, Craig, really?
I wasn't gonna say that.
Hey man, look here.
Hey, if you think you go your life without eating some kind of human, I gotta tell you, you're wrong.
Yeah.
They gotta get your taste buds used to it, because in a post-apocalyptic world, you never know what's gonna happen.
That is true.
That way, when you take your first bite in, you'll be like, this ain't that bad.
They already set us up. You got two types of chicken. You got white meat and dark meat.
Now we got the extra dark meat.
Yeah, we was sitting around work on our break, like past a couple years ago, right? And then we were looking at that picture of that chicken that had the huge muscles on it. When they had it in the factory picture. And they was holding it up and they had the muscles all on the chicken's legs and stuff. It was like, where's the meat? It's all muscle.
Man, can you imagine how swole people would be if we started eating food like that? They'd be scared to kill the animal.
Look, they all swole. They swole in the opposite direction though. They got muscle.
That's crazy. So they extracting the human DNA to inject it into food. That's crazy.
They taking through genetic modification, man, they removed the original human embryonic kidney cells, taken from the healthy cells, and then from aborted fetuses, they take the genocell. So yeah, man, they use it for foods too, like Craig said, that some foods that we don't even know they won't even reveal, but they don't have taste at all.
Wow.
So you getting a lot of this. You getting a lot of this crap, man. Some of the food that we eat every day, they're saying it really don't have any taste. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Yeah, you gotta use a little salt and fetus.
Hey, man.
I'm gonna get a can and put fetus on it. See if anybody buy it in the store.
Put it right next
So
to the
did you
pig
just buy
brains.
a can of fetus?
But yeah, that was my topic for this week, man. I mean, I'm gonna get off that too because it's making me sad.
Well, you know, there's an opportunity to get some money in there. You can get you a little seasoning and call it what the heck. Be like, I can't believe it's not butter. I can't believe it's not seasoned.
Craig, go to the next topic, man. You're right. Man. I can't believe it's not seasoned. What's next?
Oh man. Well, hit us with it, Kenny. What's going on?
There's a show on Hulu called Atlanta, and features an artist, Donald Glover, aka Childish Gambino. He's been extremely busy with his other platforms. He's producing movies now. He did one a couple of years ago. It did okay. Don't get me wrong, it did okay. But now he's to the point where he's got his hands in the pot on everything, music, production. And ever since This Is America came out, and he was on Saturday Night Live, man, he blew up. I mean, he was already big. And this cat is he's a traveler. He's been from one end of the planet to the other end of the planet. Now he's working on a movie. Do y'all remember Mr. and Mrs. Smith with Angelina Jolie?
Yeah.
He's working on another version of that. So not that he doesn't have time for ATL or Atlanta. He's just been like extremely busy with his other projects, which is understandable. Money makes money. And that's what he's trying to do. My other favorite on Hulu is a show called Dave. And Dave is about this upcoming rapper. His name's really Lil Dicky. And he's funny as hell. Should check out this. There's a video he does with Snoop Dogg. Y'all need to check that out. But there's a lot of videos that he's done that are really, really cool and funny. He brings that funny twang to rap. But where you have your Weird Al or your Bobby Jimmy or your old school cats that did the funny rap back in the day. But he had an episode where one of his hype man, his hype man name is Gator, I think. So Gator had an experience on a bus where he went on the bus and people were just talking about this whole bus ride to where things went out of control because Gator flipped on the bus. He was on something or he was drunk. Just went all out of control. That wasn't even the issue. What it was, he's bipolar. So nobody understood that he was trying to keep it in, but he finally couldn't. He had to tell somebody, and he finally did tell somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I started watching Dave, it kind of like drug on, and I kind of didn't watch it when I waited to build up the season built up until we like episode 4 or 5, and he came out and he told everybody that he was bipolar, and come to a true fact, he is definitely bipolar, which people out there are having issues right there, and others don't understand what they're going through. They just think they're drunk or just mean. It's actually a disease that this nation is fighting as far as like mental health, and bipolar is one of those diseases. And that brought my attention back to finishing watching the season. I hope that this June 16th, when Dave comes back on, I think it's going to be pretty good. They got off to a good start. I think they're going to be pretty good. And that's all I have in entertainment.
I haven't seen no Hulu in like 6 months.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I've been off of it.
You're missing your Rick and Morty.
You know, I'm like sitting back and not watching any of this stuff. Like I got rid of most of it because they started raising the prices on all this stuff. Like, and everything I was watching, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, the Disney Plus, the Paramount Plus, or whatever, all this stuff was like over $100 a month. Mostly because I was doing the Hulu with the live TV, and it's like $75.
Woo.
You know, so I finally got to the point. I was like, man, why am I paying for all this stuff? And then the Hulu tricks you because it's like the live TV without commercials, but for like stuff you still watching commercials. So I'm like, why am I paying for this? It's out of my face. So now I just limited to like things that I want to see. So I cancel all this stuff. And if anything pops up that I want to watch, I'll subscribe just for that 1 month and then get off of it. And they started doing that dumb thing where they don't want you to binge episodes anymore. So they start putting out new shows every week. And I'm like, well, usually I judge a show by the first 2 episodes. And if it's not good, I ain't coming back.
Oh,
so
you're like me.
Yeah, so if they want to catch my attention and my money, they're gonna have to step up the game. There just ain't been no shows that I want to watch. Like even American Gods, like that new season came out. I watched the first episode. I was like, man, this dude's got hair now. I was like, screw this episode. It sounds petty, but it threw off the whole vibe. No, it's like
you're right.
It looked like a toupee. I couldn't do it.
Well, you know what? The good thing about that, how many people gonna be honest? See, that's what our show brings is bringing to the podcast, neighborhood, is that we really talking about honesty. I'm talking about honesty. Like, who would have said that? But I thought the same thing. I was like, why did they bring this dude back with hair? You know what I'm saying?
I guess that. I don't know. That still baffles me today. And when I saw Shadow Moon, I was like, nah, that can't be right. And he had the little curly locks and stuff. I'm like, nah. They got a Peyton with a shirt off now. Oh, how you doing? Yeah, this changed the whole aspect of the game. But
I mean, it's about as bad as going to the bathroom.
Yeah, and I mean, eventually I watched it all, but like the first time I couldn't do it. I was like, man, screw this. So I painstakingly sat through and watched the whole thing. But it's been a good couple months since I even thought about this show.
I hadn't finished watching all of it, so don't spoil it.
And I didn't have to pay for it. The only reason I watched this because it gave me a free trial to the Stars on Amazon.
Yeah.
And I canceled that immediately after I watched the show. So
smart man.
Yeah, give me the deals or I ain't watching it, man.
I don't blame you.
Start feeding my mind some stuff that I can actually watch that's not garbage. There's not a good way for me to say that. They're putting out a lot of garbage shows.
Yeah. I mean, and feed your mind with something that you want in there. You know what I'm saying? Like that study in a day, an hour a day.
Yeah. But on another note, right? You remember when you was a kid and you really wanted to get some kind of like toy or something, and you asked your parents, and your parents was like, "Nah, we ain't got money for that. If you want to get that, you got to go get your own job."
Mm-hmm.
So you started trying to like formulate your own business plans of how you was gonna get stuff. For me, it wasn't like the normal operations. Like, so when I wanted stuff, I wanted stuff like those Power Ranger Megazords. And you know, I lived up there in Charlotte, close to the old Toys R Us. They used to be over there.
South
Oh
Boulevard.
wow.
Yeah. And you know, that was back when they had those Jeffrey bucks in the newspaper. Which is basically money you could spend at Toys R Us. And then we lived in like this kind of like hotel scenario where there was a bunch of people that lived there and everything, and everybody got their own newspaper and stuff at the doors. So I would go around and ask people for their newspaper to cut out the Jeffrey bucks.
Smart.
And they didn't have that limit at the beginning where you had to like spend 50% real money and 50% Jeffrey bucks. So it was no man's land. So I wanted Power Ranger toy. My parents told me, no, we can't afford that. You got to go make some money and do it yourself by doing like chores and stuff around the house. Well, I bypassed it altogether by going around and doing stuff to get people's newspapers. So if they needed like the trash taken out or something, you go pick up a newspaper, cut out Jeffrey bucks, collect Jeffrey bucks. You have like 100 Jeffrey bucks. You can go to the Toys R Us and you can get whatever toys you wanted. It was like $100. I remember it fondly, like riding the bus down to the Toys R Us with the bucks in my hand. Nobody was going to take them because it wasn't real money.
Yeah.
It was only real money in Toys R Us. So you take them down there and you start to clean them out. Take your toys, everything. I got so many toys from doing that. But you know, the more typical way of doing something like that is starting your own lemonade stand on the corner of the street, you know, and getting people to come and buy cups of lemonade and everything. Just recently, right? I think last week or the week before that, 2 little girls, they were cousins, opened up their own lemonade stand, right? And they started selling lemonade, and it got pretty popular. The thing that got them tripped up though is that one person posted on their social media account to come down and get this lemonade, and, you know, that really hindered it instead of helping it like you'd think it would, because a little while later, a Virginia health inspector came and shut them down, like with an actual cop and everything.
What?
Told them they needed to produce some papers or they need to close down their shop.
What?
Right? They're like 11 and 10 years old.
Yeah, these are kids. What are y'all doing?
Yeah, traumatizing experience. Right? So my thinking when I read this, I was like, wow, kids really can't open up their own shop, even though it's like a lesson that kids need to learn, right? It's something that my parents told me, and I'm sure their parents told them, and I'm sure everybody's parents tells everybody at least at some point in their life is like, no, I can't afford it. You're gonna have to go without, or you got to find an alternative way to get this. And it's really an important life lesson to learn to be crafty and to develop a mindset to where you can go out, do something, and accomplish a goal.
Yep.
But nowadays, all that stuff has been nixed. I mean, it's still possible for kids to have, I guess, let's say a budding business, not necessarily lemonade, but any business. They can technically have businesses, but in a lot of these states, it's prohibited or it's been like gated off by so many ways that it becomes like an impossible feat. And I think that as a citizen, a little citizen, right, you should be allowed to do that. Like it's your right.
Yeah, you should
Sure,
be
you can
exempt from all of that.
Yeah. And I mean, you can't really ask kids to go out, buy permits and stuff like that.
No.
Because technically you're not giving anything to kids. They don't benefit from giving you stuff. So say your kid like has a lemonade stand and he pays his taxes, right? Your kid doesn't benefit from those taxes.
No.
It's going to go to whatever the government wants it to go to. And everybody can be like, oh yeah, we use these taxes to improve your schools, but that's not what really happens. We all know that. Like
No.
Kids don't benefit from paying you taxes. I think at a certain point, if you can't smoke, you shouldn't pay taxes. right? So they raised the age limit on some of this stuff. Like you can't smoke, you can't drink until you're 21. So you shouldn't even need to pay taxes until you're 21. That would give you a head start on life, not to pay no stupid taxes. But I think as a kid starting these businesses, it's important. They should be able to do that. And the government shouldn't even have a say, because really you're not funding anything. If anything, if kids were to pay taxes, they should pay taxes to the parents, because that's where they getting their original funding from, so to speak. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think this is just a great description, and I hate it happened to him, but it's a great description of how powerful people become numb and destroy more than just a lemonade stand. People don't realize how empowered you become when a kid feels like, number one, I can make my own money. Oh man, I can make my own decisions. Oh, if I own a lemonade stand, I really ain't got to work. I can hire somebody else. See, you start to take and whose decision? This I gotta say this. Whose decision was it to send somebody down there on who rotten dog ass
Karen
down?
Karen,
listen,
where are you, Karen?
Listen, no, for real though, man. Listen how idiotic this is on two kids.
To a kid.
Who?
That was a Karen.
That person right there, they need to take him outside and take the biggest boot Duke Power driver guy on. You know them Duke Power drivers wear some big ass boots. We need to take one of them guys and just kick him in the ass, man, a couple times. I'm sorry, but it don't make no sense. You're right, it don't. You are evil, low, without any friends type of person if you do that, man. Just like, listen, that's when you really boil it down. I know I'm making a funny out of this, but I'm gonna tell you the serious part about this, man, is that you ruining kids' dreams, bro. Yeah. Think about that, man. We gotta, and us adults who got good sense, like I know some of those guys, when you get so technical and so you up there and you the food administration captain or whatever he is, man, you get so lost. Man, go watch Fred Flintstone or something so you come back to fucking Earth, because somebody should have said we're not wasting no taxpayer money on a lemonade stand, you idiot. Yeah.
Look,
here's my 9. Go in that alley over there.
This is the warning that they gave him. Like, a police officer walked up with the health inspector, and they said they got 5 business days to obtain a business license and pay taxes on any revenue they made. That's what they said.
Man,
it's oh my God. I feel like
it's some people. I was getting ready to say something. No,
I can't say it, man. I'm like, wow, really?
No, I couldn't. I
get
Craig,
that
Craig, it wasn't nobody in that group that said, no, we not sending nobody. It wasn't nobody up there with good sense.
Nobody.
No, because when the government wants their money, they want their money. Doesn't matter if you're a kid or not.
These the people we got running the country.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hot. These people taking your taxpayer dollars and going buying boats and big homes.
Look, and they not allowed to open up. Their grandma, they told them they had to open up this business to get what they needed, right? She would have to apply for the business license to open this place back up.
That's crazy. And that kid's going to remember that for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
And when they become in power.
But that's just that. They didn't stop them, which is a really good thing.
Good.
Right? Just because the whole health venture thing said that you gotta stop. It turns out they're selling lip gloss kits. Good. So they still on their venture. Good. Hopefully, Craig, no asshole comes in and tells them they got to stop that.
I was just going to say, I got one more thing. If that person that was on Facebook. Oh, I ain't forgot about you.
Uh-oh.
You diabolical, despicable, untrustworthy Facebook friend. How dare you look at that and say, "Oh, I'm gonna go tell my cousin he worked for the health department." Who and they right? Who got the tech? Man, I'm disappointed, bro. I'm disappointed in y'all.
Tattletale.
Only in America, man, with somebody be on Facebook and have enough hate in their heart. Your shoes stink. That's what it is. That's why you don't like those guys. Your shoes stink and you ain't got no friends. Because that's the only person that'll do that.
And the back of your neck stink.
Yeah. Your earlobe stink. Right where the earring goes. Smell them earrings. They stink. Whoever, boy, I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All these poor kids, man, out here trying to get ahead in life.
They wasn't
learning
selling
that
crack,
lesson real fast. Shit, they might have got away with it if they wasn't.
Yeah.
Listen, you ain't gotta have no license to sell crack. You gotta have license to sell lemonade. I'm done.
That's crazy.
That sounds like a good exit point right there.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Damn.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's going to be the start of the close of the show. Today, Curtis wild out talking about some conspiracy theories about us all eating some human remains, which we all know is probably true. Kenny with that wonderful advice about the PTSD and pets and the unconditional love and the nice little shows they have on Hulu that Craig doesn't watch anymore. They got to start coming with their content.
I hear you.
Yeah, and the sad fact that today's kids, they can't experience the same stuff that we experienced when it comes to having an enterprise or a business venture. They got to go through extra hoops, ask their parents for permission. Like, I would never ask my parents for permission if I want to start a business when I was a kid because I didn't want to give them their cut. And you know they take cuts.
Exactly.
And they take cuts.
They take the cuts, man. So hopefully America starts to open their minds to that stuff and not rob these kids of their chances to learn and have different opportunities, get to know people, build professional skills they can use. Because I feel like the government wants you to be a slave. And if you try to break away from that, they're going to come get you. So
that's why I know that we can't be in that. We can't be in that world, man.
Right.
And our mindset can't be in that world where go to work, come home, go to work, come home, go to work, come home. We got to think outside the box, man. We got to really get away from that right there. Because look, they don't go by no church trying to shut no church down, right?
Mm-mm.
You know why? Because church control minds, and that's dangerous. You go shut a church down and people start talking, oh, you got problems. But then they take innocent kids. It ain't like these kids was out here selling crack, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on, man.
That's crazy.
I mean, really, somebody got to make an executive decision that you a dumbass for doing that. And somebody in the office got to stand up and be willing to lose. This what I'm saying, fellas, too. And this gonna be on my next show is economic freedom. Somebody got to be willing to stand up and lose their fucking job and call that person who was on Facebook that they talked to an interview because they interviewed them and say you was a fucking asshole and walk out of there. I'm serious, man.
Out. And that's it. Dude, make it simple.
I'm serious, man.
Bye.
Man, you know how bad that's messing with them kids, man. Like,
yeah.
Come on, man. I mean, look at the bigger picture. Look at how that police officer, which is he's an asshole. He done had a bad day. Somebody screwed his wife anyway. But anyway, look at how much energy it took for the technical world to come together. Facebook, you know better than this. And then you got and I'm just gonna say it, man. Look how many evil people. Listen to me now. Listen closely. Look how many evil people got together. All these people got together. Somebody had to sign some paperwork, but you ain't coming down there with the health department for no reason. They brought the evilness in the world, man, brought all these evil people in to destroy these two kids' dreams, man. Look what this ain't just about them kids, man. This is about something even bigger. I don't know what it is, but something telling me to say that. I don't know what it is, but this is about something bigger, man. Just think about that.
Program.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
But you know what I'm saying, right?
Don't do it, Craig. Don't do it, Craig. Don't do it, dog. It ain't
if you're an officer, you're having a hard time communicating with the community.
Mm-hmm.
You just go on down there with that plate of Caribbean food.
You know you ain't black enough to eat Caribbean food. No, you ain't black enough to do that.
Hold a shade card up to the
Hey.
Okay, you can come in.
That's all it takes.
You ain't lying.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed the show, please like, comment, subscribe. Join us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram for some of our short form stuff. And next week, we're going to be talking about what, Curtis?
We're going to talk about financial freedom.
Financial freedom and what to do when the government comes wanting theirs. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us tonight on another episode of NorthKaKChat. Please come back next week. We sit down and talk about the things that's on our minds. Good night.
Good night.
Night, y'all.